Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right, folks, I wound up being able to go to the spring game, and my brother and I had a little Zoom meeting, and we're going to talk about that and discuss everything that we saw, and it actually is pretty positive. I didn't see a whole lot I didn't like, and so let's get into this with my brother Chilmont. All right, Chilmont, let's talk about the spring game. Chilmont and I got to actually go. I was not expecting to be able to go, but I was able to get off work at the kind of last minute, and I showed up just right at game time, met my brother there, and we got to go in and watch about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours of it, and it looked pretty good to me. From what I could tell, man, there was almost 60,000 tickets sold, and it was really full because a quarter of the stadium is under construction.
Yeah, that's the whole south end zone was, they didn't allow seating because they have a refitting they're doing and some remodeling, so which it's sorely needed. It was getting in bad shape in that south end zone, the bathrooms, everything.
Please disperse. Nothing to see here, please.
It was cool to see the stadium completely full, even the upper deck. Like I said, even though a quarter or the third of the stadium was closed, it was all the way to the very top of the upper deck.
Yeah, what did they announce? Almost 60,000?
Yeah, right at 60,000 paid.
That's huge.
Usually a spring game, I know we've probably had bigger numbers when it was free, I think. Of course, I don't know how they really know the actual numbers of that if they're not selling the tickets, but that's pretty impressive to have 60,000 tickets sold. And of course, just last week, they announced they'd sold 70,000 season tickets, which was way ahead of schedule of what they thought they were going to be able to do. And they made the environment in there really nice. It's fun.
Yeah, we went to that, I can't remember the actual name for it, but it's like that upper deck area where it has the Jumbotron and it's standing only, but they have the big bar area there. It's a kind of a beer garden up on that second level. That's kind of a cool place too. We stopped at.
Yeah, we hung out up there, but yeah, if you wanted concessions, any type of concessions, popcorn, anything whatsoever, a beer. Oh, if you wanted a beer, you could forget it. It was about an hour-long line, it looked like to me.
Well, we're waiting.
They've had very few concession people there working. So they might have been underestimating how many people were going to show up for this game. And, of course, the weather was so good, I'm sure that played a role too. But there was a lot of excitement there. People were fired up.
There was. And, they had the whole band there, it looked like. So it was just a fun time, beautiful day, and a lot of really hardcore Vol fans there. Not everybody, but still typical forever wait for a beer. That's kind of standard at Neyland Stadium there, unfortunately, but still a great time.
Yeah, it looked like quarterbacks did fine. I was very impressed with Gaston Moore. We've never seen him play, and I've been concerned about having these walk-ons. But this is his third year in the Heupel system. He looked like he knew exactly what he was doing. He threw the ball well, was very accurate, just really seemed to be on top of his game. I think he was 8 for 11 with a TD. You had one interception, which was almost a great throw. He almost got sacked, and then he went into the pocket like you're supposed to. And he threw, and the ball hit the guy in the hands. But it just kind of, I think the defensive guy got his hand on it and popped it out. And then the safety behind him caught it for an interception. So it was unlucky for him on that. But I mean, he played really well. Yeah, go ahead.
And he can run a little bit too, which was nice.
Yeah, he's very mobile. He's very mobile.
Very quick.
So that tells me we've got a third string quarterback. I was concerned that we would probably need to go get a scholarship quarterback for third string. But I think Gaston's got that covered just fine. So I feel a lot better about it. And, the reality is if Josh Heupel's comfortable and he doesn't get another quarterback in the spring, I'm not worried because he looked good to me.
Yeah. And he did me too. In fact, hazard to say that he looked a little more efficient running the offense than the other two at times.
Yeah, almost. Now,
Milton looked good. I mean, they had him kind of in limited use there, both of them, and Nico, because obviously you don't want to take a chance with those two guys, especially Milton. They all threw some nice passes. Was quite a few drops, and right in the hands of a couple of receivers. I think it was more tight end still. some drops, and it's still extremely early.
Well, most of your top end receivers, our starters, didn't play.
Yeah, they didn't even play. These were a lot of probably very young guys or walk-ons or possibly some of the transfers or whatever. It was hard. I didn't have a roster at the game, so it's hard to tell who was who from a distance, but because they weren't announcing every player and every play. So a little hard to follow.
Ethan Davis had a pretty good game until he got banged up. Hopefully there's no serious injury there. We'll know it. He said, the coach said we know it by the end of the day. Nico was 8 for 16. He threw for a lot of yardage, like 160. He made a couple of real nice throws. He's just, you can tell. I mean, he's a freshman. Not a redshirt freshman. So he's just getting comfortable in the system. You can see the skill and the talent. He just got to get comfortable in that system, and I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, as a true freshman, he looks like the real deal.
Yeah, you can just tell he made some throws. You were just like, okay.
Yeah, okay. That he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, Joe was throwing some darts out there. I think he was 9 for 13 for 79 yards with a TD, and of course he's throwing to the second string and third string wide receivers. But he looked fine. He looked perfect.
Yeah, he looks fine.
And he tried to, and he ran the ball some.
Yeah, he made a couple of nice runs. He can move. He needs to, when it gets in the real games, he needs to slide. Of course, they weren't, they were just playing touch with the quarterbacks, but they were tackling hard sometimes. So it was good to see some action there. I think we'll be good with Milton. If he keeps playing like he did toward the end of this last year, I think we'll be just fine.
Yeah. I feel a lot better about the quarterback situation now that I've seen him in action, because I was fine with Joe. I think he's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And then Nico, seeing him in action, you see the talent there. He just needs more reps. But seeing Gaston Moore out there, now I'm much more comfortable that we have options. If you did have a string of injuries, you're not defenseless.
Well, that's the thing. We clearly have some quality depth at quarterback now that we haven't had in a long time, between Milton, Nico, and now Gaston Moore. He made a beautiful touch, his touchdown pass that was perfectly thrown fade route right in the corner of the end zone.
Yeah, that was one of the first plays that we got to see.
Yeah,
that couldn't have been thrown any better.
Yeah, Moore looks quite comfortable out there.
I thought he did. He looked as comfortable as anybody out there to me.
He really did.
When you've been in a system for 3
All right, folks, lost my brother there. His battery went dead on his cell phone that he was using for this Zoom call. So, unfortunately, this happened to him.
It ain't got no gas in it.
Yep, ain't got no gas in it. That's happened to everybody. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of finish this up. I was pretty pleased. I was real pleased with the crowd and how many tickets they sold. I thought that was a really good sign that there's tremendous enthusiasm for the team. The quarterbacks looked fine. They made some really nice throws. The receivers dropped quite a few balls, but again, those are not our regular receivers. A lot of them were freshmen and just kind of getting their feet wet. I was pleased to see Cam Seldon out there running. Deshaun Bishop looked good. Overall, just a really fun day. It was beautiful out there, and I enjoyed looking at all the changes and whatnot that's going on in the stadium. And if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Let's me know to continue to cover the Vols and all things that are going on with it. And if you've not subscribed, it's right here on the left. Just hit that little button. Just boom, that's all you got to do. Super easy, costs you nothing, helps me out. And right over here is my most recent video. And be sure to check that one out. We'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.